All right, so now I really, 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 I mean, I don't know how many times I could say really um, hope that everyone like redid those old homework assignments because y'all had like 2 weeks off, 3 weeks, something like that. 2 weeks off, I think. Something. Anyway, I hope you all went back and just really started doing the work because that was a perfect time for you to like really become even more familiar with your ancestors. I hope you all just because the key to this work is really to have fun and to play. It's not really that serious. And so like the assignments that I gave you, for example, to have a specific ancestor walk with you and to
real quick, without cutting you off.
You in the wrong class, Chief. Let me say it. What class you think this is, Chief Montana?
Oh man!
You got like 1,000 classes.
Goodness gracious! I thought this was the 8 o'clock class.
I know you did.
Good Lord.
We on prep. Right.
Good. You know, and I was looking at the people in the class. I was like, man, I don't remember.
Shaka.
I was like, man, I thought Tiana was in
right.
the Wednesday class. I said, well, maybe I'm just mistaken. And then I saw Nia sung. I was like, did she? You know, it just didn't click. All right, so let's back this thing up a little bit. So so I'm clear about what class I'm in because apparently you all are clear, which is great. This is the Beyond the Kings to the Kingdom class.
Prayer.
Yay!
I'm glad I'm clear also. So this class has been for the people who knew that there are actually certain prayer times during the day. This class has been like asked to be held for at least for a while. It's been a long time that there's been a request for this class. So now we're finally here. So let's jump right in. We actually got to be off by 8 o'clock so I can start this other class. But I didn't plan on this class lasting no more than an hour anyway, because this would be a quick class. Now, if you notice, nobody has a Kareem. So this is, even if you're currently in a P1 class, the advanced classes, you will not have a Kareem because you don't need a Kareem. You know, and these classes move at a faster pace. So it's not like the slow pace. And there's an expectation that exists that, you know, no one will have to hold your hand through the process. Doesn't mean you don't ask as many questions as you want to ask, because you know I'm going to answer those questions anyway. But no one is really going to hold your hand through the entire process. So that's the beauty of this class. And so one of the things I want to say just off the bat, before we get into the actual times of the day, is let me back up just a little bit. So this class is going to last for about 7 weeks. So each week you will have a different assignment to do related to a day of the week. So for example, the assignment that you're going to have this week is going to pertain to Tuesday. So it'll pertain to tomorrow. So you actually start the assignment tomorrow. You cannot, and I repeat, you cannot skip tomorrow and say you're going to do the assignment on Wednesday, because Wednesday may have different times of the day where there is a prayer time. So this class, like there's specific days you have to do the assignments on those days, because if not on another day, it may not work because the times are going to be different for each day. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Mm-hmm. Anybody need any clarity about that one? Going once, going twice. All right, hold your tongue. Now, let's see. So we're gonna have one assignment every week. And when we come to class, we're gonna talk about your results. Now, don't be overzealous and think that every time you do these assignments, depending upon what you ask, it may happen. It's going to happen a lot faster, but a lot faster than what? Faster doesn't mean next day. Faster means if you did it on an off time. for example. Something that may have taken a week may now take a day. Something that may have taken 3 months may now take a month to accomplish. That makes sense? So the time is relative. But there's something that we're gonna do when you do your assignments. There's something that we're gonna do that will let you know that they're working on the assignments, and all you're gonna do is simply tell them to show you, to explain to them that you're learning, you're in a class, blah blah blah. But you need evidence, or you need something to show you that the class, that you're actually getting results, or that they're working on the issue, so that we can see that, or just resolve the issue. It's simple. It's not rocket science. Okay. Now, so first of all, the first thing I want to say is the best days of the week, period, to do rituals or to do prayers. It's who knows when that is. Best days of the week.
I do.
What?
Friday, Monday.
You got that right.
Yay!
Friday and Monday are the best days. So y'all write that down. Okay? Oh yeah, and in the advanced classes, there's not one person assigned to take notes. But if somebody's taking notes, they want to post their notes, they can, but everybody will get a video. So there's not as much hand holding in the advanced classes, because everybody needs to be focused. Okay? Since we don't have a Kareem in these classes. So yeah, so Monday and Friday is the best day to do ritual, period. Now, there's also an optimal time of the day to do a yara yara. So when you get a yada yada, the optimal times are between sometime in the morning and 3 p.m. It's the best time to do yara yaras.
Chief, can you be more specific about sometime in the morning? Is it
Well,
dawn?
sometime in the morning, I would say anywhere between like maybe 6 a.m. and 3, something like that. That's best time. But the strongest time of the day for yada yada is noon, when the sun is at its zenith, or at its peak, at its highest point. That's the best time of the day. So anywhere around noon is the best time.
Okay, so you're giving a range, anywhere in between, somewhere in the morning and 3. After 3 is bad.
Just say 3. It's not bad.
It's
But
not
the
as
power
strong.
of this is for yada yadas, not prayer times. It's two different things.
Right.
I'm talking about yada yadas now.
Uh-huh.
So the energy of the earth starts to decrease after 3 p.m. Now it's not a bad time to do it. It's just not the optimal time. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, Chief.
Okay. And the optimal time period is at noon.
Question. So say you're given a yara to do. You have to begin it at noon, or can you begin it, say, at 11 and then deliver it between noon and 3 if you have to deliver it to someone?
Well, so when you start doing a yada yada, when you start doing your prayers,
Mm-hmm.
the spirits of the land, your ancestors, the genies, they start. So for example, if you're doing a yada yada with Masa and whatever else, they will start consuming that stuff the moment you start your prayer. Actually, right before you start your prayer.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't happen like the ritual doesn't start when you give it to someone. It actually starts when you start your prayer.
Prayer. Okay.
That's when it starts.
Mm-hmm. So you can start your prayer before noon, and then okay. I get it.
Okay. Yep. So you can start it before noon, but you have to get, this is what I would do. If I were doing a yada yada, this is just me. I would look and see, I'm gonna give everybody the optimal times. I'm not gonna give them, I start to give them to you on like like not a worksheet, but just type them up and give it to you in a document. But my people said, no, you remember it more when you start writing it down. So I'm gonna just go through each one and give it to you like that. So this is what I would do. Say if a prayer time, look at your prayer chart, right? And if a prayer time, the optimal time for a prayer was at 12:30, to say, for example. And I know that the optimal time for a yara yara is at noon when the sun is at its zenith, or the highest point. Guess when I'm going to start my yada yada? At 12:30, because it's about when you start the prayer. When you start the prayer actually starts happening, not when you give the yara yara to someone, which that's all a part of it. That's not when it starts. It actually starts when you start praying. That's when it starts. So I'm going to start my yada yada at 12:30. That's when I'm going to start it, because I want to start it at the optimal time. So it's not when you hand it to children or give it to a blind man or something like that. It's not, even though that time is very relevant, the yara yara is continuous. Does that make sense? Meaning you start it at 12, and when you start it, it's activated. So it's going, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving. And then the yada yada is not complete. Your part of yada yada is not complete until you give it to whomever it needs to be given to, whether ant nest or children, a blind woman or whatever. Now, when the ants choose to eat or consume, or when the animal comes and chooses to eat and consume, that's out of your hands. Or when you give something to a person and they choose to cook the yada yada or whatever, that's out of your hands. You've done your part. All right, does that make sense? Anybody have any questions around that?
Yeah.
Hold your questions 1 second. Give me a second. Okay, any questions around any of that?
So even if you don't find a person to give it to till 3:30, it's still okay because you started at the right point.
Correct. Correct.
Will it be okay for a yara yara to spill over to the next day?
Say that just a little bit loud. I can't hear you.
Will it be okay for a yara yara to spill over into the next day? So like, let's say you don't find a group of children or whoever until the following day.
Well, that's why, so for here in the West, we need to do prep time. Prepping means, it's like a lot of times when I tell people, when I'm clear, like people, they're not gonna do their yara yara at the ant nest. A lot of times, well, they have to do it there. I'll tell people, go out a day before, 2 days before, whenever, and identify where that ant nest is first. Because actually your yada yada should not go into the next day. And so you should, if you don't know where to find, if it's an ant nest or a crossroads or a straight road or whatever it is, or a specific type of person, go out and do some scouting before you do the yada yada. And so then once you know, because if you're looking for a blind woman and you find a homeless blind woman, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna go back to that spot the next day and she'll be there. Or you can, like when you identify, say, hey, are you gonna be here tomorrow around noon? Yeah, baby, sugar, yeah, I will. And then all you do, next day, do yard and meet her there and she'll be there. Okay. Any more questions?
Chief, what about when it's raining?
What about it?
Is that still okay? Because I know when I did mine, did one a couple weeks ago. Of course, it was after I got off of work, but it was rain. Even though I knew where the ant bed was because I had already checked it out.
Yeah. Yeah, the ants don't have to be out. They'll come out. You just need, your part is to place it where it needs to be placed. So it can be raining and you just go and pour it there.
Okay. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've gone down to Cascade Nature Reserve and it's been like really nasty out. And I just walk on down to where I know those ants are, pour it there and come back. So yeah, I've gone out and it's raining. I've gotten wet. I'm like, I just need to get this done. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah.
So for the best ritual days to do rituals, Friday and Monday. So would that also include like making offering? I'm sorry, making offerings for chickens as well.
That's something a little different. So for example, sometimes yes, and I'm gonna get into a little bit of that anyway because y'all don't. Most of y'all just have ancestral shrines, so I'll talk. That's my next thing was to talk about ancestors. So I'll talk about that. I'll add that to it. Okay. Any more questions about that? All right. Cool in the game. So now, Fridays. Now, let me back up. So what I'm doing, so it can be clear, I'm just giving you all, so separate the prayer times right now. So don't include the prayer time because the prayer times is another tool to add to your rituals. That's all it is. So separate the prayer time for now. Because I can feel somebody's thinking about like the prayer time being a part of what I'm saying. It's a part, but it's an add-on. I'm going to add that on later. Okay. Now, in regards to ancestors, if you're going to do rituals and you're going to make a request of your ancestors, who knows the best day to do that? It is Friday. Friday is Ancestor Day. It doesn't mean you hold off, and all of you all should know who have gone through the shrine class, that doesn't mean you hold off to Friday because we've done rituals at the shrine every day. So it doesn't matter. You still do a ritual on a Tuesday. And you're still going to get results. But if there was something that was pressing, something that was big, not really pressing, something big that I wanted, I would actually do that ritual on a Friday for my ancestors. Because they're out on Fridays. They're just out chilling. It was like Ancestors Day on Friday. Good way to put it.
So why Friday?
They just out on Friday. I don't have the answer to that question.
That's when the eagle fly.
Moonshine in the other realm.
Yeah, that's when we party on Friday, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Paycheck and all that stuff. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you're gonna do like really big rituals for ancestors, you can do it on Fridays. Don't worry, you can still do it on Tuesday or Thursday, whatever day. You can still do it on that day and you'll get your results. So I don't want this to become like some religious thing where you can only do it on this day or you have to do it on this day or something like that, because it's not. Not that. That's just Friday and Monday, those are just strong days for ritual. Now, if you do your rituals on Friday or a Monday, the best time to do those rituals is after 3 p.m. 3 p.m. and later. It's the best time to do them. Doesn't mean you can't do them before. It's just the best time to do them. And some of you all will get to this point and some won't. When you start working with like other spirits, then they may have more restrictions. Like you cannot do rituals before 3 p.m. on Mondays and Fridays. So there will be a hard restriction. Or you'll just be doing the ritual, it's not gonna work.
So, Chief, excuse me, did you say after 3 on Fridays?
From three o'clock after, yeah, 3 on. If you're gonna do like, if you're doing a ritual and you're dealing with genies and stuff like that. Now there are exceptions, but I'm just saying that's not a hard rule, but that's the best time. But as you get various tools, all of that stuff will open up. That when you ask for the guiding principles of that tool, that should be included. Ask like, what's the best days to do rituals with that tool? And it may be Tuesdays at 5 p.m. I don't know. I'm just making that up. I don't know. And so whenever you get a tool, you need to ask for the guiding principles. It's very important. If the elder doesn't tell you what they are, you want to ask. Okay. Any questions about that?
Yeah. So this question, I'm sorry. So the time after 3 p.m., that's more so for like spirits, or is our ancestors included in that?
Ancestors, you can probably do it in like all day. It's fine with ancestors because it's ancestor day, like they're out. So you can do that.
I think I'm a little confused. You said if you do rituals, the best time to do them is after 3 p.m. Is that only rituals involving spirits? Or
Yes. Yeah. So like I said, rituals when you have genies or dwarfs or whatever. Yep.
Hey, Chief.
Yes.
I got a question from
Now,
Joe.
let me hold on one second. Now, if you have to do it earlier, you can actually ask to be excused. You can do that. And so remember, you can negotiate. So ask to be excused to do the ritual early. So you don't just go and do it. That makes sense to everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that separate and apart from like when you get up in the morning and you just do a quick ritual to set the pattern for your day?
Yeah, that's separate and apart from that. Yeah. I'm talking about when you're doing, let me be clear, when you're doing a ritual and you have a bird or something like that. When you're working with, when you actually hold, let me be clear. When there is a jinn or dwarf or spirit that you're holding, if you have herbs for burning, you're not holding that spirit. Holding it means that it's yours. So if you just have like herbs to burn and, you know, pomade and, you know, that stuff, man.
What about tools, Chief?
If you have a tool, you're holding that spirit.
Does that include our maintenance, our regular maintenance that we do with the tools? Do we do those after 3 p.m.? Is that the optimal time? I mean,
On a Friday and a Friday or Thursday?
Friday.
Friday or Monday?
No, I mean, yeah, or after 3 p.m. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Okay, I just want to make sure you're clear. What days of the week are you talking about?
Well, you were talking about Mondays and Fridays, right?
Yeah. Well, no, okay, that's okay. All right, that's fine. Yeah. No. It doesn't. Look, well, let me back up. Yeah. So any, like if you're doing maintenance or whatever you're doing, that's the best time to do it. Now, like I said earlier, you can ask to be excused. Does that make sense? Is everybody clear about what asking to be excused means?
Yes.
Meaning, I want clarification. Meaning, just say, can I do this at a different time?
Yeah. So what that means is, so when you do the ritual, you're gonna go get all your stuff together, whatever you're gonna do, and you're gonna say that you want to be excused to do this ritual because time won't permit you to do it at 3 or whatever that is, and then you go ahead and do the ritual and see if they accept it.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. That's what that means.
So we're doing, just to make sure that I'm clear on the question I just asked. If we're doing maintenance with say my Cabri, for example, the optimal times is a Friday or a Monday after 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
And same thing if the days that you have for your talisman are Friday and Monday, you would anoint it with oil after 3, or it doesn't matter?
Nah, like I said earlier, it's when you use a bird or something like that. You just putting oil on it. Yeah.
No.
Don't matter. You have a bird, yes. And that talisman you have, you're not, unless it's your star, you're not, you're not holding that spirit. You just have access to it. Does that make sense? I want to make sure that that's clear.
So if you say holding the spirit, that means you have been given a shrine, which means
you possess that spirit. That's holding it. It's yours. You've done a ritual and you've been given that spirit to do spiritual work with, for yourself, for other people, blah, blah, blah.
But would a telltale sign be a shrine?
Let me be clear. It doesn't have to come in the form of a shrine.
Okay,
Let
got
me
it.
give you an example. Just a second. Can y'all see me?
Yeah.
Okay. See this? This is not a shrine, right?
Okay.
You see this one?
Yeah.
Okay. And you see this one?
Yeah.
All of those are spirits that I hold. I possess them.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You see this?
Yeah.
This is just a talisman that I have access to this particular spirit.
Mm-hmm.
But you just have to know and be clear about what you have, because some shrines will come with a talisman. Because you see this?
Mm-hmm.
This is actually a part of one of my shrines. So I actually hold the spirits that are in this. That makes sense?
Yes.
But this one, I don't hold this spirit. I just have access to it. Okay, that makes sense?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to and get a little more clarification on that.
Say what now? I'm sorry.
Okay, no, I was gonna say if, oh, and so Xiaopeng is asking it too. So I'll say Xiaopeng because it's kind of what my question. Xiaopeng put, so if you have a kabri, then you are holding that spirit? Like if you
Yeah,
have,
absolutely.
okay. So I was gonna say if you got medicine to bathe in or whatever, you hold that spirit. Is that accurate? Okay. I won't, okay.
You have to pay attention to what the elder is giving you. Because you bathe in spirit for protection.
True.
Medicine. You bathe in spirit. I mean, you bathe in not spirit. You bathe in medicine for any tool that an elder gives you. You're gonna bathe in medicine.
That's true. That's true. Okay. We hold the spirit that without kabri. Okay.
So your kabri means that you hold that spirit. You have access to that spirit. Nobody else does. Well, even if you have a regular talisman, nobody else has access to it. But you're actually able to do rituals with that spirit, meaning you can actually tie things to that kabri.
Got it. Okay.
And the same thing with this here. I actually take pins and I stick it into this.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Yep. And so the elder will tell you that if the elder, so when you ask for the guiding principles, that's a way to find out. Because they say, oh, the guiding principles, I give it oil every Tuesday and ask for blah, blah, blah. Then you just have access to that. If you're actually holding a spirit, they'll start giving you ritual, like not just putting oil. They'll say, oh, okay, if somebody is dealing with blah, 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 do this. You're holding that spirit, I mean, you're wielding the power of that spirit. Okay. The full power, well, depending, because sometimes they can give you partial power, but you can still hold that spirit.
It's me.
Okay, that makes sense?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right, any more questions?
So you said most likely.
I'm sorry.
I still had a question I didn't get to ask for Josie. I was trying to ask for somebody else.
Okay, go ahead.
She can't talk where she is. She wanted you to repeat. She said, are you just saying Friday or Friday and Monday are the best day for ancestors?
Just Friday. Friday is the best day for ancestors. Right.
Monday and Friday are best prayer days, what you said, the first thing you said.
Yeah. So no, not prayer days. Those are actually the best 2 days for, if you're going to do a yada yada, those are actually the best days for yada yadas and the best 2 days for ritual. However, it could be specific to a spirit, because you may have like Thursdays could be the best day. I hope I'm not confusing people.
Yes, I'm confused, Chief. I wasn't until just now.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right.
Because I think it's just the terminology.
Okay. Tell me what you got. Okay.
Friday and Monday are best days for rituals.
Yes.
And Friday is Ancestor Day.
Yes.
Right? Which is the best day for big rituals.
For ancestors. Yeah.
For ancestors. Gotcha.
Yes, and I'm just saying, I would do big rituals on that Friday. You can do a big ritual on Tuesday, Thursday, whatever day. But I would do big ones on Friday. That makes sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you said Monday and Friday, do your rituals after 3 p.m., but that's for other spirits.
Yeah, if you have stuff like this and blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Okay, and the optimal day for Yara Yara is Tuesday.
Well, I want to back up just a little bit.
Okay.
Now, the reason that you would do rituals if you were working with, for example, if you're working with genies, the reason that you would do those rituals after 3 is because the genies meet during the daytime up until 3 o'clock. They're actually in a meeting. That makes sense?
I guess.
Yeah, just like, just it's like they have a standing meeting every. So this is an example, like every Friday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay.
So they're not really available. However, you can ask to be excused to do the ritual.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. So we haven't spoken about prayer yet.
No.
Okay.
And for yara-yaras, so for yada-yadas, Tuesday is not the best day unless the elder says do it on Tuesdays. So maybe specific. That's why a lot of times.
So not a day, but a time. The time is between 6 a.m. and 3 p.m. So there's no optimal day, but there's an optimal time, or scratch that off because you said it. But
for yada-yadas that you're going to do any day.
Any day, right. The optimal time is between 6 a.m. and 3 p.m.
Yeah, just say 6 a.m. because they never really say like what time, but they definitely say what time. Well, not what time they start, but elders have definitely said what time it's like the cutoff, kind of like the cutoff time. So the cutoff time is like 3 because the energy of the day begins to fade.
I'm good now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome.
So when we have a starism, we definitely hold a spirit.
Your star, but you hold your star anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, that's something you hold. You hold that anyway, regardless. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So glad we got that worked out. Let me see. Hold on a second. Let me put this stuff down. Give me a second. Let me put this stuff back real quick. Hold on. Zioli. Okay. Now, so we got that out of the way. I want to get into the prayer times. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me go away. Let me pull them up really quick. Uh-oh. Wait. Here we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all the prayer times for Tuesday. So I'm going to give them to you for every day of the week because some of y'all will go out and start doing prayers every day of the week, and I don't want you to get ahead of everybody else. I know how y'all be working over there. Y'all come and class. Oh, I went ahead and did them every day. I know. Okay, so the first hold on 1 second. Okay, the first times of the day for Tuesday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. (9 a.m. to 11 a.m.)
Chief,
Yes,
you said 6 a.m. to 7
a.m.
a.m. You said p.m. the first. Okay.
Oh, that's the whole day. All right, class is over. It's done. Peace. Do your homework. I'm out. Yes, 7 a.m., 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And
Chief, you did it again, Chief.
You did it again.
oh man,
6 a.m. to 7 a.m.
6 a.m. until 7 a.m.
1 hour. Okay.
1 hour.
You must be overworked.
No.
Actually,
no.
I'm not. I feel great. I'm just maybe I'm underworked. How about that?
All right, now don't say that. We can work you.
Well, that's all right. I mean, I'm just joking. These just jokes. Okay. Now, the second time is from 9 a.m. until 11 a.m. And then you have from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. And then you have from 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. Then from 8 p.m. until 9 p.m. Then from 11 p.m. until 1 a.m. And then from 3 a.m. until 4 a.m.
Can you say the one you said before 3 a.m. to 4 a.m.? What was the one before?
From 11 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, any questions about those times?
Yes, Chief.
Yes.
Well, I have actually a statement. So we started off with the day, Tuesday. However, when we get to 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., and then followed by that 3 a.m. to 4 a.m., that's Wednesday.
Just don't use your European brain on this. Stay African, please. That means stay within the scope of what we're talking about. Don't go on the other side. Don't add anything or don't take anything away from what's like the time. They're clear that it's, our ancestors are clear that it goes into the next day, but these are just the times that exist.
Okay.
So, so is it 3 a.m.? So that's actually Wednesday morning, not, so I couldn't get up to, like tonight I go to bed and I wake up at 3 a.m. It's Tuesday.
Correct. That will be considered as a Monday time, and the Monday time will be different because it'll be 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. on Monday.
Okay.
Time will be different. So yes.
So it starts at 6 a.m. on Tuesday.
Yes. Yep. Starting at 6 a.m. Yep. Exactly. Okay. You got it. You got it.
So Chief,
this exercise for some, it's gonna challenge your thinking. Because it already has, which is not a bad thing. It's just how we're programmed. It's going to challenge your thinking because we in the way you think about a day. But from a traditional perspective, this is how it works.
So Chief.
Yes.
Just to summarize, so in other words, the day doesn't begin until the sun comes up.
Correct. Thank you. Perfect. I was just about to say that. Yep. That's really when the day starts. From a traditional perspective, from a Western perspective, the day starts at midnight.
Can I ask a Western question?
Yeah,
That
you
you
can
kind
ask
of
an
always
Eastern
yelling at us
question,
for,
a
but I
Southern
just want to
question,
know.
a Western question, yeah.
Is there a rationale, like why these times? Like, does it
Because
have energy? What?
yes, because we're looking at times of the day when the energy of the earth is at its highest. Now, don't get it confused with doing your yara yara by 3. Don't get it confused. It has nothing to do with that at all. Zero. Don't intertwine them. They're two separate things. Because just because the energy of the day starts to decrease after 3, it doesn't mean that they're not high energy times after 3 p.m. There are. But those spikes in the Earth's energy may not be as high as they are during the daytime. Does that make sense? But there's still spikes nonetheless. Good question. Y'all asking good questions, so everybody. These are excellent questions. All right, what else y'all got? Okay, now.
Chief, I have a
Yes.
question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Tiffany. When will well, this is not related to class. Well, it is related to class. When will the recording for the I'm sorry, Makai's in the background and he's distracting me. When will the recording for the last workshop be put up, and when will tonight's recording be posted?
Workshop is up already, is the answer to that.
The workshop is already up.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It was up a couple of days after or a day after.
Okay.
And tonight's class should be posted within 48 hours. That's the promise on every class, but I might get it up by tomorrow noon.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes. Hey, Miss Jameson.
Hey, Chief. How
Oh,
are
you
you?
look so studious. That's so sweet. What you got?
You know, I can't. Prayer times, because you know, I know this comes up. We can't do any rituals with our cycle, but can we do prayers with having our cycle? Or I remember you talked about when you're on your cycle, you could do something with like washing your up into your elbows in like some type of salt.
Yeah.
And like the rock salt, so that you can do your rituals, etc. Does that apply?
So for example, take the prayer times out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever rules apply to whatever tools you're using, those rules still apply. That makes sense?
Not really.
Okay, so for example, if you have shells, then if you are not to use your shells when your cycle is on, then prayer times don't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you are, and we haven't gotten to the exceptions yet, because there are always exceptions based upon the tools that you're using. Some tools, it doesn't matter if your cycle is on or not.
Okay.
So for example, if you're a Jinwari bot and there's a bracelet that you get, and you have to wear that bracelet 24/7, it can never come off your arm, ever. You could be having sex, the cycle can be on, you can be cursing somebody out, it does not matter. You can never take that bracelet off, ever.
Okay.
And so it all depends. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Good question. Excellent.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Question?
Yeah.
Prayers can be done at your shrine or away from your shrine. Both, right? Remotely or whatever.
when you're doing the prayer times?
Yeah.
Yeah, the same rules apply. So remember, take the prayer time and you want to separate it from what you're doing. Now, the prayer time is just an add-on or a boost to what you're doing. And so whatever rules apply for whatever tool you're using, those rules don't change. It's like having a car and you're putting like some type of gas booster in the gasoline or in the tank. That's all the prayer times are doing. You're still gonna put, 87 or 93, whatever you use, regular or super. You're still gonna put either one of those in your car. But if you want to boost the performance, you're gonna pour in some type of additive to do that. That makes sense?
Yeah, now it does.
Okay.
Now it does, because I thought the prayer time was something, I was separating prayer time from the ritual, but now you're saying that's just the add-on.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
Yep.
Okay.
It's just an add-on. Okay. All right, what else y'all got? Sakaya. What y'all got?
You asked me a question?
No, I was just saying if anybody got anything before I move to the next thing.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. Now, pay very close attention to what I'm going to say. This is extremely important. Even within those optimal prayer times, there are optimal prayer times within that. Does that make sense, what I just said?
It makes sense.
What'd you say?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Very confusing, Chief.
I know. That's why I say you gotta put on, like, take your Western brain and just kind of squeeze it and just push it to the side just a little bit, throw it out. So there are optimal times, and then there are like optimal times within that time range. So if you take the first one, right? Better yet, I'll probably start with the one, take the second one, 9 a.m. until 11 a.m. Between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., that's an optimal time for prayer. However, within that time range, there is another spike that exists. So it's like the optimal time.
10 o'clock.
Nah. So, y'all ready for this? Every half hour, there is a spike in the energy of the earth on the half hour. So if you take the first one, for example, the second one, the 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So at 9:30, that's like a super time. It's an optimal. 10:30 is an optimal. So you have two really like optimal times to do it within that optimal time. I hope I'm optimaling you all to death. I know.
But it makes sense.
Yeah. So y'all get that one? So at the half hour, that's when that's like the best of the best time to do your prayer.
Chief.
Yes.
You know what it sounds like is if an hour was a day, the half mark time would be noon.
Perfectly said. Yep. Every half
Say
hour.
that again?
Perfectly said.
What?
You can go ahead and repeat it.
I said if 1 hour, if 1 hour was a day, if 1 hour was 24 hours, if you looked at it the same way, the halfway mark would be noon.
Yep. So the half hour would be noon. Yep.
Got it.
Yeah. Perfect way to see it. Okay. Any questions about the optimal time for prayer?
No question, but a statement.
Yes, ma'am. What you got?
I'm gonna make this is for me, and this might help others.
Pronounce
I'm
your
gonna-
name real quick. I was actually looking at it earlier. It looks like it's a pretty name.
Wait, Sakai?
Sakai. Okay, Sakai.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That's hot.
So I'm gonna make my 10 to 11.
Uh-huh.
That's my golden time, and the half hour is gonna be platinum. So that 9:30 and 10:30, that's gonna be platinum.
Yeah. Perfectly said. Yep, that works. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Great, great, great. I like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
You are welcome.
So the optimal time, if you started at 9 o'clock, so you said it's best to start at 9:30?
That's when you get that's the optimal time for that time period. I'm not gonna say what the best time is. You determine that yourself, because these are just still the optimal times to do your prayer. And so you can still do it at 9 o'clock. I don't want it, like I said earlier, I don't want this to become like so religious that we're just locked into like, oh, I got to do it on a half hour. No, you can just do it at 9 o'clock. You can do 9:15. You know, just the closer you get to the half hour, the higher the spike in the energy of the earth is. Once you pass the half hour point, it starts to go down, but it's still high. I don't want anybody to think it's useless. It's still high, but it starts to decrease after that half hour mark. That makes sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And then whatever that peak is between that 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., it goes back to that peak, or starts to return to that peak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or as Sakai said, it starts to go back to the golden hour, from the platinum to the golden. But heading towards the half hour, that's when it starts to turn more platinum. And as soon as it passes the half hour mark, it starts to go back to golden. That's a good way to put it.
So,
right, is that clear? Yes.
Oh.
No, go ahead.
So, no, I was gonna ask you. So, stop it, baby. We need to play the Mega Millions at the half hour mark, baby.
Basically, shocking.
Turn in the ticket.
No, you need a virgin male to win the Mega Millions, and that's real. It's true. If you want to win the lottery, there's a ritual that's done, but it has to be a child or someone young who is a virgin, and then you do the ritual, and then blah blah blah. You know, you don't cut them, and I want to be clear, you don't cut them or use blood or nothing like that. But there's a ritual that involves a young child. And it has to be a male who's virgin. So yeah.
I got two. I'm just saying.
I heard that. Send them on.
I got two with the girl. I'm coming over now, Kara.
Girl.
Either one.
No, they ain't no bird.
Everybody head to your house.
Listen, I got two. The one is 8 and one is
I
I don't
want
know.
I don't know, because I talked to
Oh, y'all are funny. Y'all are hilarious to me. Let me see. Any more questions about the half hour point? So now this is what I want to say. I'm going to say this early, but it slipped my mind. Now, what you are learning is ancient. What you're learning, this is not like this is secret knowledge. What you're learning, and what you need to begin to do along this process is not put your pride for sale, and this becomes your pride. And you can do what you want to do with it, and it'll go out into the world and be bastardized like everything else. Or you can choose to keep this sacred as it already is. I promise you, if you ask 1,000 people, they don't know anything about this. Even if you go to Ghana and you ask people, many of the people have no clue that this exists. And so this is the point. This is the stage down the rabbit hole where things begin to become sacred. So keep that in mind. So this is not knowledge. You be like, oh girl, I got some prayer time for the whole day of Tuesday. I mean, you can do that. But just always remember, this is the law. I forgot to mention this during how the spiritual work. But this is one of the laws of spirituality. The more people who know a ritual, the weaker it becomes. That's just the law that exists. That's why people who do like a lot of Wiccan stuff, maybe giving out these little rituals, that's why sometimes they half work. The more people know, the weaker that ritual becomes. Because it's not like they're gonna know it and just know it and keep it. Everybody will be using it. So you can look at it like, you know, they like in power plants, they have what's called load balancing. Within IT, if you work with networks, they have load balancing to balance the load. If they didn't have load balancing, then everything would short circuit or shut down. So look at it like that. If everybody is pulling, that's why these rituals become useless. Everybody's actually pulling from the same source. It diminishes the power of it until it's rendered powerless. All right, was what I said make sense? Any questions about any of that?
Yes, it makes sense. So let me ask you this. So we have to be very, very careful. Well, not careful, but very particular in terms of our family members who we deem worthy of knowing these prayer times. I know that I would love to share it with my daughter. Should I stop at my grandkids?
Use your discretion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, the more people who know, it diminishes the power of ritual.
Chief.
Yes.
You know, in sales, they have a technique that they use called scarcity. And, you know, it's only 10 left, which causes people, you know, to buy. But the reverse to that is it becomes more valuable because only a few people go into possession.
Correct. That's why, like, this is a limited class. I'm not going to keep teaching this every year, time after time after time after time. I'm only going to teach it when my people say so. And they said, now is the time. I was asked about it earlier. They said, nope. They clearly said no. So this is not like the ancestor class where it's ongoing. It's not. I'll have other classes. However, like there'll be one more class after this one, and then I could promise you this class won't show up for a minute unless my people say so. Like even after the next class, if they say, well, go ahead and do it one more time or whatever, I'll do it. But right now it's only going to happen twice.
Chief, I have a question.
Yes.
I was just thinking, is it like akin to, okay, there are specific criteria, like you were saying, there are certain criteria for being a chief. So everybody can't have the same access, you know, like a leader, there's the leader and then there are people that go to the leader for specific needs to be met or to know certain things. And if everybody knows the same thing, it's not as, like you said, it's not as sacred, or it's not, I can't really find my verbiage right now, but it's not as set apart if everybody knows all of the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Actually, they just told me what's going to happen, right as you were speaking. This will turn into just like the Shells class. You cannot take this knowledge without divination first. And if you notice, it's only a handful of people out of the total number of people who are actually in the ARC community. And so the next time it's just going to be a handful of people again out of the total number. And then it's going to be divination only. And shoot, for all I know, by the time the next time comes around, they may say start divination only. Who knows? But I know they said just open. This one needs to be just open. Mm-hmm. And I know for certain that there were several other people who wanted to take this class, but something happened and they couldn't take it. So I haven't divined to find out why. I'm not really interested in that. But I bet if I did divine, it'll have something to do with their level of spiritual maturity. So my people or their people, whomever took care of that, I don't know. Okay, so just keep in mind, this is your pride. This is your pride. This is your pride.
Steve?
Yes.
I got a question. So let's say if you are, obviously you're a diviner, or people that are doing spiritual work for people, they say, and they're discussing whatever issue, whatever it is that's going on with them, and they want to go to their ancestors. Okay, I'll say a student, and I say they don't have a shrine or anything like that. I could just say, whatever the issue is, I say, do this at 7.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, you can do that. Because as a diviner, you will look to see the best time. You're not just gonna pick an arbitrary time.
Correct.
So that time will be specific for that person, for that ritual. That makes sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you notice, Alu will ask Yidan, best day. Blah, 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 blah. And she'll take a look and be like, okay, do this on Tuesday. Do this on this day.
And I've noticed if we had to do a calendar ritual recently for someone in our family or church family, the time I got was on an optimal time. So I looked at that and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very, very welcome. Interesting. Okay, any more questions about any of that? And so what we begin to do is you begin to build pride in your ancestry, pride in the knowledge that you receive. And when you begin to build that pride, it becomes the most valuable thing. Because the reality is this. How do you think Europeans conquered the world? By manipulating people to give up their pride. So, for example, you take the Homie people. You take them, for example. The only reason they lost to the French, this is the only reason, is because someone told where their pride is located. And their pride was an ancestral tree. So think about the tree, if you all have seen, what's the name of this movie with the blue people?
Avatar.
Avatar. Same concept. They had an ancestral tree, which was the source of their power. That's their pride. And when someone told, and it was somebody who was the homie, told, oh, this is their, like our pride, the ancestral tree. Guess what they did? They went and cut down the tree. That's why when I watch Avatar, I just laugh because I know where they probably got that from. And the moment they cut down the tree, the tides of the war changed. It was like overnight. That's the only reason they were kicking the darn French butt up and down. And we'll sit there and believe the story that the French had superior, or Europeans had superior weaponry. No, that wasn't the case. They were kicking their butts. But somebody told. Same thing with the Akan people and the golden stool. Somebody said, "This, you take that golden stool, you'll beat them." And it was somebody who was Akan. They actually told and gave away the secret to their pride. And when they stole that golden stool, the war was over. They were done. Those are the stories people don't talk about because we're not writing the history, of course. So they're not going to say, okay, this is what we actually did. They're going to say, by our might and our wit and our blah, blah, blah. No, it's by your trickery. And somebody, I mean, you can always find somebody in a group to take whatever, to give up information. I don't care if they white, black, or candy stripe. You can always find people to do that, always. You're right, there's always a snitch. You can always find a snitch.
Chief, what is the spiritual implication for that particular person that snitches? What happens to them? What do the answers?
Well, spirit deals with them however they're dealt with, but they get dealt with. There's no doubt about that.
Okay.
And it doesn't just end up being that person. It impacts their entire bloodline for generations after generations after generations. So yeah, there are definitely implications for that.
Is that like a part of balance? I think you said one time before, you have certain people that act a certain way and they're there to bring some type of balance or imbalance, or that's what they do.
Yeah, I mean, that I wouldn't call that part balance, snitching.
Well, I wouldn't call it either, but circumstances actually dictate how people behave. But I'm sure that person, whatever they brought to the community, brought balance. But I wouldn't agree that the snitching brought the balance, because that flipped everything upside down. But that's just how it's just what happened. Okay. And it could be that they did that to bring balance. I don't know. It's a good question. Excellent question. So yeah, because we're beginning the process of recapturing our pride. And we always say that we want to begin to practice tradition. But part of practicing tradition is having pride. And this is part of your pride. And you don't give your pride away. I don't care if it's your best friend, y'all been friends forever. You know how much stuff I know, and I have people who are really close friends and they don't know any of it? I had a friend of mine ask me for a ritual to do something. I looked at him and just started laughing. I said, nah, I said, it don't work like that. Nope. I could have given him a ritual to do it, but I was like, nah. Nope. I'm not gonna do that.
Good for you.
At all, because I was clear, like he hadn't been through any type of traditional nothing. It's clear about that. He practiced, like he read some books, he practiced a little Wiccan stuff, but what he wanted to do, I don't even remember what it was. He couldn't find a ritual for it. And he asked me if I knew of one. I said, yeah. He said, oh, give me that. I said, no, it's not, stuff's not for sale like that. It's not even for free at all. So he left me alone. He ain't asked me for nothing since. So yeah. Oh, yeah, we're down to 15 minutes. Thank you, Nia. Appreciate that. yeah, so now what your homework is, you need to pick 3. I'm going to leave this up to you all. And I want you all to play with these times. Matter of fact, I'll because everybody's work schedule is different. You need to pick 3 different times. Excuse me, during the day. Don't pick all half-hour times, please. Because I want you to get a sense of how this works. If you pick all like prime times or high energy times, if you do that, then you won't be able to see, oh, okay, if I pray at this time, this is how fast the result comes. I pray at this time, oh, it comes at this speed, and you may not even notice a difference at all, or you may notice a difference. So you want to play with the time. You pick 3 times. 1 time in the morning, I don't care what time. 1 time in the afternoon, don't care what time. 1 time at night. Now, night will mean even at 3 a.m., that's night. So that's what we're considering as being night.
Did you say don't pick optimal times?
I said don't pick all optimal times. You can pick an optimal time, but don't pick all optimal times. Better yet, I'm glad you asked that question. Don't pick no optimal times, God dog. We'll do optimal time day later.
Yeah, I like that.
Pick all times that are on the hour.
You're saying pick optimal times, but not optimal times.
Yes, on the hour. Yeah, on the hour. Yep, absolutely. On the hour. Absolutely. Are these times for all days? No, these times. So I'll repeat this. I'm only giving times for Tuesday. You can only do this ritual on Tuesday. If you attempt to do this ritual on Wednesday, it will not work. If you attempt to do prayers on Wednesday, it will not work. Because Wednesdays have totally different times. Totally different. And so every week we're gonna pick a different day. So next week we're gonna do Wednesday.
Question, Chief.
Yes.
Are we doing 3 different prayers or prayers about the same thing?
Oh, 3 different prayers. Good question. 3 different prayers. And so so you can go to your shrines. If you don't have shrines, you can do the rituals. You can do your invocations and do them then. That's fine too. If you have shrines, go to your shrines. Some of you do not have shrines. And those of you who do not have shrines, just do your invocations.
What about the one in the afternoon when we're away from our shrine?
Or
Or make sure that you are at your shrine.
So if you're away from your shrine, just remember you're always linked to that shrine. That's your baby. So you're linked to it. So even if you're away from the shrine, you can you call your people. You're linked to that shrine. That makes sense?
Okay. But for our prayers, we're not lighting candles. We don't have to do the light candles and all of that other offerings.
Yeah, you're gonna do a full ritual. I want you all to see something.
Okay.
But if you're not, if you're busy during the middle of the day, right? If you get home in the evening, do it in the early evening while it's still daylight. That makes sense?
Okay, and then do another one later.
Another one at night, when it's dark. Yep.
Okay.
Fatima, you got candles? That's 3 times a day tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Happy I just put in my order.
Okay, question.
Oh yeah, Fatima, I need a box of red, white, and black. And multicolored. Matter of fact, 2 boxes of white. You're sucking them whites down like it's crack.
Okay.
But okay, if I do one at 4 and do one at 5 and do one at, let me see, let's say 8:30, my candles are still burning anyway.
It doesn't matter. But you're not gonna do one at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock. you're gonna do one in the morning. Do one when you get home, and then do one at night.
No, the question I'm asking, if my candle burns for 5 hours or 6 hours, do I need to light another candle each time I do it?
Absolutely. Because remember that each candle is specific to a particular ritual.
Okay. Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Chief,
Yes.
are you using prayer and ritual interchangeably?
Yeah, because the prayer is a ritual, yeah.
Okay.
Because in a ritual, you're going to do a prayer anyway. So, yeah, pretty much.
So are those of us, because you said that we could still do prayer if we were on our cycle, but we can't do ritual when we're on our cycle. So what's the difference if you're making us go through a whole ritual right now?
So the difference is this. There's certain exceptions that exist. We haven't gone over those exceptions. So there are exceptions that exist. So you may have a tool, a spiritual tool, and I gave the example of the bracelet with the Jinwari bar.
Right. And I have.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It doesn't matter if your cycle is on or not. You can still do. You won't take it off.
Okay.
Right. And you can still talk to the Jinn. My understanding, I may be wrong, but my understanding, you can still talk to the Jinn, all that stuff. Right. Now, if whatever rules apply to your tool, when you're doing the prayer times, those rules still apply.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
No, because then I feel like then you still can't. Well, based on our shrine, we can't go to our shrine when we're on our cycle.
Correct.
So then is at that point that I can do a prayer without a ritual? Like I can pray away from my shrine, or no?
No.
Can you just do an invocation if you have a shrine and you're on your cycle? Wouldn't you just do an invocation?
No, because the thing is, spirits, like you're going through a cleansing process and they don't really want to be around it. And we haven't learned, like, for example, there are exceptions. We're just not at that place yet.
Okay.
Because you can, like, for example, there was actually multiple students, but who, when we were in Ghana, their cycles came on. But, for example, we let the elders know ahead of time and they did whatever they needed to do to make it an exception. So Chief Banzaba, for example, went to his people and said, okay, we're going to make an exception, blah, 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 blah. Now, with what I just said, I just gave y'all something very powerful. What would y'all do with that information?
Keep it to
I
ourselves.
would go to my people before my cycle and ask them if I have an exception. Is that it? No? No?
There you go. That's simple. Perfect. Tell them that, like, I'm doing this homework assignment. I need an exception. What you gonna do?
For myself and ask?
Exactly.
Okay, but if you don't have a shrine, you don't need to worry about this.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Okay, because I don't have any shells to throw. I have a pendulum.
Okay, use your community.
Okay.
There are plenty of people in this class with shells.
Okay, so I can ask someone.
Shells on your behalf. Yes, they can ask for you.
Oh,
They can ask
I
for
need
me.
somebody to throw shells on my behalf. Okay.
Me too.
I think I need. Nah, that's okay.
You think what?
Nah.
You know you have something you want to share. I see it on your face.
No, I was gonna say I think I may need an exception. I said, nah, I was just joking. But everybody else started chiming in and said, "Oh, me too, me too, me too, me too, me too, me too."
I'm glad I need an exception. We know about that conversation.
So, but what I want to do, and I'm saying this because this is an advanced class, I intentionally don't tell everybody. That's very intentional. There are things that I talk about in advanced classes that I don't talk about in the other classes. And you all will see. It's very intentional. And so you go to your people and ask for an exception. So I need to get this homework done, players. And this is going to benefit you more than it benefits me. So yeah. Okay, everybody clear about the homework?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'm so sorry. I missed that last part. So
I'm not clear.
Yes. Okay.
Exception if you could do it while you're on your cycle. Is that what the exception part was? I think I missed that one piece.
Yes, throw your shells before your cycle comes on. You know it's coming. You
got it.
Exception. Or if it's already on, use your community.
So you got it to see if you can do the assignment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some people's ancestors will say yes, and some people's ancestors are gonna say no. If they say no, that's just what it is.
But then, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now,
Chief.
Yeah.
No, I just had a question. I'll wait.
Okay. Now, Ms. Jameson, what part of the homework you're not clear about?
Okay, so we pick out 3 different times during the day, right? On the hour, morning, afternoon, night.
Yeah.
3 different prayers. We're praying for whatever we choose.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to do invocation first.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know where the candle fit in. Like I put
I haven't given you all candles yet, right? Have I? Okay. So those of you in P1 who I have not given candles to, do not do candles. Don't worry about that. Just do the invocation the way that I've instructed you to do it.
Got it.
Okay. So if it's just with the water and bowl, do it the water and bowl, or bowl and water. If you do it with the ash and water, do it with the ash and water. However you normally do your invocation, do that.
So let me ask another question.
And then later on in this class, I'll introduce candles to you all, but not. We're kind of out of time now, so that's why I'm not going to do it now.
Okay. But all right, so I'll just do it that way. So even though you have my shrine, I'm not. Because you had said you connected to your shrine.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm still connected to my shrine.
Yeah. So you would do a regular invocation. So let's do a regular invocation for now. I'll go through because that will entail like the candles and stuff. So I'll make sure. Just remind me. I'll make sure I go through that next week at the beginning.
Okay.
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 All right. And so just to give you a heads up, you're gonna need a white candle and a red candle, and some multicolored candles. Just to give you a heads up.
No, I have them already. You have to give instructions the list. I have the candles. They just waiting. I just didn't know where to put them. But okay.
Okay.
Now I got it.
All right. That works. All right. Everybody else clear about the homework?
Yes. So, Chief, tomorrow we're going to use 3 white candles, right?
3 white candles, 3 red candles.
3 white and 3 red.
Yep.
And when we pray, you know, we kind of asking 3 different things, and so we kind of seeing whether or not this is going to come through.
Just ask them.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. And remember, like those of you who are your shrines, remember, like this is a generic or basic ritual. Red candle, white candle, incense. You can use liquor if you want to, and liquor. Just say liquor. That's all you got to do. Y'all should know the order in which to do that. So I'll leave it at that.
Can you repeat that? I was distracted. I didn't hear what you said.
White candle, red candle, incense, liquor. Just a basic, we're not adding any levels of complexity at all. We're just keeping it very basic.
But not for me, Chief, right? Not
If you correct, if you haven't gotten any of those instructions, you don't have a shrine, just do the invocation the way that you would normally do it. Okay. All right, I got a class that's starting. Y'all have a fantastic night.
Order again, please.
I need 2 whites, 1 red, 1 black, and a box of multicolor. Yeah.
Great.
Oh, okay. You can go ahead and PayPal me or Cash App me, and then I'll order.
Okay.
I don't have that many on hand.
Okay.
Do you need some like for this week though?
I need them white ones this week.
Okay. Well, I was gonna order them as soon as.
You have a box of whites?
Well, not with everybody else needing some.
I ain't talking about them.
Whoever gives me the money first gets the petals.
Your students from the 8 o'clock class are calling.
I know. Tell them to hold it down over there.
Good night, everybody.
All right.
Yeah, we still have
Wait a minute. So 1 white, 3 whites tomorrow. Just 3 whites.
3 whites, 3 reds.
Okay.
Because remember, at your shrine, the 2 basic colors candles you need are what?
White and red.
Not you.
Red and white, yeah.
Huh?
Red.
Say what now?
White and red.
Exactly. Unless you're doing ritual maintenance, we're not doing ritual maintenance.
Okay.
To do any ritual, those are the 2 colors you need, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until we start doing some other stuff. But in your domain, in your conversational domain,
right,
only 2 colors you need to be worried about as the base colors.
Gotcha.
As the defaults. And then the other colors, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
All righty.
But don't forget to erase.
Okay, I got you. All right. Oh, that's right. YouTube has this thing where you can clip out video. Or I could probably do it here. All right, I'll do it. Well, I'll work it out. Don't worry about it.
I don't have access to the video other than the people in the class. Why would you need to cut it out?
You never know.
Because it's on YouTube.
I'll work that out. I'll work it out. That's it's not even. I'll work that out.
Just do what your peeps say to do.
I'll work it out. Yeah.
Well, good night, everybody.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Love you all. Bye.
All right, good night.
Good night.
Good night. See you in a minute.